And a very good evening, everyone, as we welcome you to Kahok Stadium here on the Kahok Sports Network. I am Todd Duke, and glad that you're with us here from Collinsville High School as we get you set for some girls soccer action between Collinsville and the Highland Bulldogs. We welcome you into the Chiropractic Works pregame show. Chiropractic Works, owned and operated by Dr. Chris McCluskey. He and his crew are focused on helping as many people as possible live high-quality lives all through chiropractic care and wellness. You can visit Dr. McCluskey at Chiropractic Works in Collinsville at 410 Regency Center, just off of the Beltline Road in Collinsville, or you can call 343-3602 or online, chiropracticworks.com. Kahawks come into this contest with an overall record of 7-8-3. Of course, they play in the Southwestern Conference, and right now their conference record stands at 2-2-1. Highland, they are 6-6-2 overall. They play in the Mississippi Valley Conference, and they are 2-3 in their conference coming into this game. And both of these teams struggling a little bit compared to what they have done in the recent past. 18 games in for Collinsville thus far, and as I mentioned, they have a record of 7-8-3. Last year, after 18 games, Collinsville was 12-5-1. Highland, we told you, their current record is 6-6-2. That gives them 14 games on the year. Last year at this point, after 14 games, they were 10-3-1. So both of these teams are taking their licks this year and having a little bit of an off year compared to years past. Collinsville, they have had 3 two-game losing streaks this year. A run of 7 straight Southwestern Conference titles has come to a close after that win last week over Granite City, a very good come-from-behind win over a very good Granite City team. Kept their hopes alive, but that same night across the Metro East over in Belleville, West and East battled to a 1-1 tie, and by virtue of that tie, that knocked Collinsville out of an opportunity for their 8th straight Southwestern Conference. I had a chance to talk to Collinsville head coach Clay Smith about that subject and about many other things, and we'll pass that conversation on to you next as the Chiropractic Works pregame show continues here on the Kahok Sports Network. And we welcome you back into the Chiropractic Works pregame show here on the Kahok Sports Network. We're back at Kahok Stadium, not for track and field this time, but for some girls soccer, as we have non-conference competition going on between Collinsville and Highland. And joining us now is Collinsville head coach Clay Smith. Coach, we can't talk about the weather anymore because it's perfect, so let's talk a little soccer. I have not seen you all since the Granite City game, a big comeback win for you guys. And at the time, you were still alive for a shot at your 8th straight Southwestern Conference, but later on that night, Belleville West and Belleville East tie kind of knocked you out of that spot.
Yeah, that's fine. You know, it's a great run. You always, never before would I've ever dreamed of winning 7 conference titles anyway, so, you know, it's fantastic to say that we did it. I think the girls learned a lot from that Alton game that we lost. So, yeah, it is what it is, and we just focus on the results going forward and get better for the postseason.
And speaking of going forward, after the Granite City game, you guys went to another tournament, and again, you finished 1-1-1.
Yeah, we played well in Rockwood. That's a tough tournament. It was new for us. We normally go to Iowa that weekend, but we decided to stay in town and switch it up and go play some competition on the Missouri side of the river. We played really, really good soccer. The second game against Ladue, both teams looked a little lethargic. They had a tough game the night before as well. We had chances to win. We gave up a late goal, which was disappointing at a tie. And then, you know, we come out and we still have a chance to win the championship against Fort Zumwalt South. We give up 3 quick goals in the first half. We're just a different team in the second half. And we scored 2. We hit the post a couple times. We score 1, and they have it called back due to an offsides call. So wasn't disappointed with the play, disappointed with some things we did at the time, but all in all, I think we learned a lot.
Well, you know, and I talked about this the other day with Coach Key and the track team. Regular season is basically kind of like a preparation to get you ready for the postseason. So, with only 4 games left after tonight, do you think your team's heading in the right direction as postseason play looms?
Yeah, I think we still have some work to do. Number one, we're getting healthy, which is our first priority. We were really banged up there for a little bit throughout the season, so slowly but surely we're getting girls back. Our bench is getting deeper. I'm learning to play girls and give them more time and time to rest as we go on. So yeah, we have 4 regular season games left to figure it out. We end with Belleville East on a Thursday night, and then we start with Belleville East on a Monday night for regionals. So quick turnaround. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah,
I was going to talk to you about the regionals. Seeing a 6 next to Collinsville is kind of strange.
Yeah, I really don't know what to say about that. It's just a number at the end of the day, and I mean, obviously it's different for me too. We've been nothing but a 1 in my tenure here with the girls and the boys. Well, I think I was a 4 with the boys one year, but anyway, yeah, it's different on the girls' side, which is fine. And again, the seeding was a little different too because we beat Granite and then we get seeded lower than Granite. But it all worked out. I'm happy with where we're going. I'm happy with who we're playing. I actually requested that we get the last seed and we play Edwardsville, Alton, and Belleville West. That's who I wanted to be with. So nobody would do that for me, so we'll take what they gave us.
You guys are playing Belleville East in O'Fallon. Talk to me about what you think about that game and the rest of that field and that regional.
Yeah, I love playing O'Fallon. We've had great games in O'Fallon. We've had good success in O'Fallon. We've won a couple of regionals in O'Fallon. We came back and had a good win against O'Fallon earlier in the season, so I don't think the field's a problem. In Belleville East, I can't say a lot about them right now. We haven't played in the regular season, so we'll know more. Obviously, they have Grace Brower, who's their senior leader going to Xavier. She's going to be somebody to watch, and I think we learn from what we see against them Thursday, and we change some things up if we have to, and go at them on Monday and see what happens. I think it's a winnable game. It'll be interesting to see what happens Thursday because I always say it's hard to beat a team twice. It's really hard to beat a team twice in a couple days, but I like our chances. I'm happy with that regional. It's fine.
All right, the last time I talked to you, I mentioned it would be nice to see somebody besides Martin and Richardson and Liljegren and Johnson get a goal, and lo and behold, during the tournament, Katie Knutson got one in. How about that?
Yeah, Katie scored a big goal for us. We were down 3-0, and it was probably 22 minutes left in the half, and I turned to my assistant coach, Jody, and I said, if we don't score a goal in this first half, we're in trouble, and we had a corner right when I said it. Katie got free in the back post and redirected a nice head ball in. So Katie's doing some good things for us right now. She's getting healthier. She's battling some shin splints. I think, coming off tons of basketball play and they're coming straight here to soccer. And, these girls, they're nonstop in everything they do. So we have to find some downtime and get them healthy. So she's finally getting healthy. Alyssa Tucker's back from her concussion as well, so I'm sort of platooning her and Katie right now, just trying to save their legs for postseason when it counts, and give them minutes when they can. And yeah, she's doing good things. So she enjoys her minutes, but when she comes off, she's doing some great things for us.
All right, you have Highland tonight, and looking back, I can't find a lot of games between you and Highland. Matter of fact, the last time I think you guys played was your very first year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we played them our very first year, and then it kind of fizzled away a little bit. They've had some coaching changes, and Coach Oz is a good friend of mine. I actually coached Coach Oz. My first high school coaching job was at Highland. I coached there for 2 years, and he was my starting goalie. So it's nice to get him on the schedule. And with the IHSA expanding our schedule, we talked and then got each other on the schedule there for 2 years. So it's just a nice friendly rivalry. And yeah, they're always competitive. They're feisty. I know their numbers are down a little bit. They're kind of facing the same problem we are with injuries and girls leaving. But they'll come out and play us, that's for sure.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
As head coach Clay Smith of your Collinsville Kahawks. We'll take a break here on the Chiropractic Works pregame show. When we come back, we'll pass the starting rosters to you and have all that and more coming up on the Kahawks Sports Network. And once again, we welcome you back into the Chiropractic Works pregame show here on the Kahok Sports Network as we're getting you set for girls soccer between Collinsville and Highland. Not much of a history going on. You heard Coach and I talk about that. I go back 18 years, and I have only found 2 times that Highland and Collinsville played in soccer, as we mentioned. The first year that Coach Smith was the coach of the girls program here at Collinsville High School. That was the last time these 2 teams played, and Collinsville won that one by a score of 1-0. The year prior to that, the year before Coach Smith made his debut in the girls soccer world with the Kahok on his uniform, they lost 1-0. So only twice over the last 18 years as these 2 teams played each other, and 1-1 is the record. Josh Oswald is the coach of Highland. He is into his 7th year. Last year they went 14-6-3. Right now they are averaging, Highland is, scoring 1.14 goals per game while they're giving up 2.29 goals per game. Coach Smith is into his 8th season as the head man here at Collinsville. Last year they had a good year last year. As you remember, they went all the way to state, and that was 3rd year in a row. 1.83 goals per game is what Collinsville is scoring, so about a half a goal, a little bit more than a half a goal difference than Highland, and Collinsville allowing a little bit less at a 2.17 goals against per game for Collinsville. As we mentioned at Summit, the tournament, they went 1-1-1. They have 4 games left after tonight. Triad tomorrow at Triad. At Altoff on Thursday. We'll have that game for you on KahokSports.com. Then they come back home to take on Springfield on May the 8th, and then they finish out their year with senior night against Belleville East on the 10th, and then 6 days later they play Belleville East again, and we'll have that senior night game for you also on KahokSports.com. The only Southwestern Conference team that Highland has faced this year is Granite City, and that happened this past Thursday, and it was not a very good night for Highland as they lost to Granite City by a score of 8-0. Then they lost at Mascoutah 1-0 on Friday, so back-to-back losses for Highland in their last 2 games. That gives them a total of 3 wins in the month of April, so Collinsville is hoping that they can get out of here with the victory, and Highland will not pick up that 4th win in the month of April. Here are your starters for Highland in no particular order, whether you're talking defense or forward or midfielder. I can tell you that the girl between the pipes is Morgan Zobrist. Zobrist on the year has played the majority of the minutes here for Highland. She has played 1,085 minutes, while Cagney Riggs has only played 35 as the backup. So Zobrist is 6-6-2 on the year. She has 5 shutouts, 29 goals against, which gives her a goals against average of 2.14, 89 saves on the year, and her save percentage is right around 75%. So in front of Zobrist, you will have Rachel Miller, Madeline Walker, Keely Corte, Kaylee Painter, Jada Duncan, Morgan Pace, Jacqueline Ferguson, Ashlyn DeLuca, and Jordan Shiragi. For Collinsville, they will have Claire Rindelman in between the pipes. The junior on the year has a 5-5-3 record, 990 minutes. She was hurt for a few games in a row there, so she missed some time, and Becca Burkhart filled in her stead. But Rindelman has 3 shutouts, goals against 28, which gives her a goals against average of 2.26, 65 saves on the year for Rindelman, which gives her a save percentage right at 70%. In front of Rindelman, you will have Jalen Richardson, Lexi Munoz, Courtney Martin, Destiny Johnson, Faith Liljegren, Alyssa Tucker, Paige Bauer, Riley Harris, Bella Hensler, and Maria Voss. Leading goal scorer for Collinsville is, of course, Courtney Martin. She has 12. Jalen Richardson right on her tail with 11. So you count Martin's assist at 3, and she leads the team in overall points as well with 27. Richardson has 4 assists, so she, again, is right behind Martin in the points category with 26. After that, 5 goals for Destiny Johnson, 4 for Faith Liljegren, and as we mentioned in the pregame show, Katie Knudsen added her first score of the year in that Summit tournament. For Highland, they are being led in goals by a couple of girls. That would be Kaylee Painter and Audrey Wilkie with 4 each, but apparently Wilkie is hurt and will not be playing in this game, so one of their top goal scorers is out. After that, it gets pretty slim. Ashlyn DeLuca with 3, Morgan Pace and Jacqueline Ferguson with 2 each, and then Jada Duncan has won. So Highland having a little bit of a tough time scoring some goals this year. Teams are being introduced now. Then we'll have the national anthem, and then we'll have game time for you. Before we come back, we say congratulations to the JV squad. They beat the Highland Junior Varsity girls by a score of 4-0 in the game that preceded this one. So congratulations to the JV girls. And we'll take our final break here on the Chiropractic Works pregame show. Again, a big thank you to Dr. Chris McCluskey and his crew. 343-3602 is their number. You can find them at 410 Regency Center, or you can go online to check out everything they have to offer. Chiropractic Works, Collinsville.com. Final break coming your way next. Then we'll have some soccer for you. All that and more coming up on the Kahok Sports Network. Back at Kahok Stadium, Todd Duke with you. Zach Roseman is going to be manning the camera this evening, so we thank him for coming and doing that for us. Did I mention that it is an absolutely gorgeous day here in the Midwest, and we have been longing to say that for quite some time now, as the month of April was just brutal. But today is the last day of the month, and the weather has finally turned around. Nice, bright, sunshiny skies. High temperature right around 80 degrees today. Supposed to be just a couple of degrees warmer tomorrow, and it's about time that we have some springtime weather. So Collinsville, of course, is the home team, so they'll be dressed in all white today. Their numbers are in purple. They have big numbers on their backs and smaller numbers on the fronts with a little bit of a Kahok logo just over the left side, right by the shoulder. The Highland Bulldogs, they are the road team, of course. They are dressed all in black. Their numbers on the backs of their jerseys are in white, trimmed in a little bit of red. Their goalkeeper, Morgan Zobrist, will be in black pants and a green jersey, while Claire Rindelman for Collinsville is wearing all sky blue. Looks like she's playing goal for the Lancers of Belleville East High School. So there's the difference in the two, and a little bit of red and black stripes down the front of the Highland jerseys. They also have numbers on the fronts of their jerseys as well. And Highland will get the ball as we get underway. Glad that you're with us here on the Kahok Sports Network. Collinsville with the ball, pushing it into the offensive zone. And there is Highland's defense to take care of it. Coming up with the ball for Collinsville is Alyssa Tucker, and Tucker gets the ball all the way up into the box, and there's a shot by Riley Harris trying to head it in the right direction, Jalen Richardson, but it kind of went off of her head and straight up instead of toward the goal. Now Highland again trying to get the ball out of harm's way, but Collinsville keeping the pressure on the offensive side of things, and a weak shot there by Alyssa Tucker that rolls right to Zobrist, and she comes up with it for the save. We're just underway, about 50 seconds in. Only 4 more games left after this one on the regular season for Collinsville, and as a matter of fact for Highland, as Highland will be going to Civic Memorial tomorrow, and Highland also received a 6th seed in the upcoming playoff bracket, and they will be taking on Rochester in their first Class 2A playoff game. That'll also be taking place on the 16th of May, about an hour earlier than the Collinsville game. The Collinsville bracket, there's a shot on goal. Zobrist with the save, and Zobrist turns around and scoops the ball up right before Courtney Martin could get in there and get that ball in. That was dangerous. The bracket that Highland is in, their first game of that regional is at 4 o'clock, and then the Highland game is at 6. But on Collinsville's side, they play at 7 because the first game of the day between Belleville West and O'Fallon is at 5. So that's your O'Fallon regional setup. Belleville West taking on O'Fallon at 5 o'clock on Wednesday, May the 16th, and Collinsville taking on Belleville East at 7 o'clock. The winners will then meet up on May 18th for a shot at that regional championship trophy. Collinsville keeping all the pressure down in the offensive zone. Here come the Kahawks, and it is Paige Bauer. Bauer gets it over into the middle for Alyssa Tucker. Tucker sends one toward the goal, and once again it rolls right to Morgan Zobrist. Last time Zobrist scooped up the ball and sent it out, it was sent right back in, and Collinsville put on more offensive pressure. Zobrist this time gets the ball to bounce over midfield and back into the offensive zone for the Highland Bulldogs, but then Collinsville's Maria Voss sends it right back up in front of the Highland bench. Back out to midfield it goes. Bauer trying to send the ball up the near side sideline for Courtney Martin. A little bit too far for her as the defenseman Rachel Miller goes back and taps the ball so Zobrist can pick it up and send it back out. About 3 minutes in, no score here early on. JV team, Collinsville already won that one by a score of 4-0. Trying to get a sweep here on the varsity side as well. Comes over to this side, that is Riley Harris. Harris brings it up in front of the Highland bench and finds Courtney Martin streaking up the near side sideline, and she can't get there before the ball ends up going over the end line, and we'll have another kick here by Morgan Zobrist to get things restarted. In the meantime, let's go ahead and thank some of our sponsors, such as Rich's Record Emporium. Rich's Record Emporium in Uptown Collinsville. They have everything there from hi-fi to hi-fi. You got vinyl? If not, Rich's Record Emporium is a great place to start your new album collection. They have new records, reused records, remastered originals, and everything from classic rock to country to jazz and more. While you're there, check out the Audio Emporium, Rich's Record Emporium, 131 West Main in Collinsville, online, richesrecordemporium.com, or call 200-9287. Collinsville again with penetration into the offensive zone. Ball all the way over on the far side. Hensler tries to send it packing toward the middle for an opportunity, but that's knocked out of bounds, and Collinsville will have a throw-in restart, and it'll be Courtney Martin who will take care of that responsibility over on the far side. 35 minutes, 40 seconds left here in this first half. We're just underway. There's a header, and that one goes in, and Collinsville has themselves a 1-0 lead off of a goal off of the head of Faith Liljegren. Faith Liljegren scores her 5th goal of the year. "35 minutes, 34 seconds left here in the first." So Liljegren gets the scoring going, and Collinsville has spent a large amount of time into the offensive zone. Highland trying to send the ball up and at least get some of their midfielders involved in some of the play here, but right now they can't get it out of the defensive end. Highland having a little trouble here early on. Here is DeLuca trying to wrestle the ball away from Alyssa Tucker. She does so and sends it up past the defense, but Collinsville's defense, Maria Voss, is going to get to that ball first. She'll turn the corner toward the end of her bench and send it up this near sideline where it's picked up by Jacqueline Ferguson. Ferguson for Highland sends it over to DeLuca. DeLuca will send it back to her defense and Jada Duncan. Duncan will send it up to the offense, and once again, Maria Voss is the first one there. Voss pops the ball up in the air and right off of the head of DeLuca. It comes down, and Collinsville will try to bring it back up. Destiny Johnson with it. Up to Martin. Martin has got a little bit of a breakaway here on the right side. She turns the corner, puts one toward the goal, but a nice job on the defensive side by Cordy to block that one out of there, and the ball ends up going across the end line. And Collinsville will have the first corner kick of this game. It'll come from Jalen Richardson on the near side corner as Collinsville looks to add to their 1-0 early lead. 33:40 left to play here in this first half. Richardson from the corner. Sends the ball toward the goal. Off of a head, and Liljegren almost did it again, but this time the head ball went right into the hands of Morgan Zobrist. That was an excellent try there by Collinsville. Ball sent back out toward midfield. Here is Maria Voss. Voss sends the ball up. Paige Bauer couldn't quite get there in time. Liljegren does. Sends it back to the midfield circle and Tucker. Tucker sends the ball back up into the offensive zone. Destiny Johnson trying to wrestle it away from Jordan Shiragi. And now Courtney Martin comes away with the loose ball. She'll send it back to Bauer. Bauer on the near sideline in front of the Highland bench. Sends it up right past a couple of Highland players, and Corte will go back and get it as the ball ends up going across the end line. Last touched by Collinsville, so it'll be another restart here for Morgan Zobrist. Let's go ahead and thank Marshall's Transmission in Collinsville. And Marshall's Transmission, they know how much of a hassle it is dealing with a broken transmission. That's why the friendly and trustworthy staff at Marshall's can help with all of your transmission troubles. Marshall's Transmission handles all types of vehicles. Just bring it into Marshall's. They will thoroughly inspect the problem, and they'll give you an honest quote. Marshall's Transmission, 263 St. Louis Road in Collinsville. Call 345-1930. Kahawks putting on some more pressure on the offensive side. There's a ball off of Destiny Johnson that rolls right to Zobrist. Zobrist has probably had her foot on the ball more than her teammates in front of her at this point. Here is Painter. Painter sends the ball up to the circle where it's picked off by Collinsville, and Bauer. Bauer sends it over onto the far side. Munoz will send it farther onto the sideline for Bella Hensler. Hensler right at midfield sends it up to Faith Liljegren, who has the only goal in this game thus far. 1-0 in favor of Collinsville. 31.5 minutes to go here in this first half. Now here is Martin. Courtney Martin sends the ball over here to Riley Harris right in front of the Highland bench. Now back over onto the far side for Destiny Johnson. Johnson works up the left wing. Now in the middle, takes a shot, but it goes wide. And once again, Morgan Zobrist will have a goal kick restart to get things going on here. Poor Claire Rendelman, she's kind of down there bored out of her mind right now. That's a good thing. Just a few seconds past the 31-minute mark left to play here in this first half. Collinsville scores a goal at the 4:26 mark off of the head of Faith Liljegren after some nice work out front by Martin. Here's Bauer. Bauer right at midfield. Comes up with it to Richardson. Richardson over to the near sideline here for Harris. Harris sends the ball toward the goal, and Zobrist will come out. And then she'll be ran into by Faith Liljegren, and Zobrist may have gotten herself a little bit of a Charlie horse with that collision there. She comes up limping a little bit, but appears to be all right. Cordy will take care of the restart here. While Zobrist tries to collect herself, and Cordy's going to wait until her goalkeeper says it's okay, which she does. And she sends it out off of a couple of bodies. It settles down right at midfield where Liljegren sends it right back to the circle to Munoz. Munoz up the far sideline. That is Hensler. Hensler back in the middle for Liljegren, and Liljegren will send it back to her defense once again. Munoz will send it back to the circle for Voss. Voss to Richardson. A little too hard off of her. Came back out. Now Bauer with it. Right in front of the Bulldog bench to Harris. Now up to Courtney Martin. Martin tried to thread a pass over to Destiny Johnson, but Destiny broke one way and the pass went the other way, and it ends up going all the way out of bounds over on the far sideline. But so far, so good for Collinsville. They are keeping the ball in the offensive zone and creating all kinds of scoring chances. Right now they have one. Could have had two. Faith Liljegren had another one go off of her head and went right into the arms of Zobrist, the Bulldog goalkeeper. Throw in by Collinsville. Richardson has it at her feet. Turns the corner, and it's knocked out of bounds once again, this time by Jada Duncan for Highland. Courtney Martin ready to handle the throw in once again. Right back to where it came from. Martin gets it and then sends it right back into the box again. It comes out front. Highland gets there first. And then Collinsville sends it back up into the teeth of the offensive zone. Here is Destiny Johnson trying to work her way around Shiragi. Can't do it. Now Jalen Richardson will come up with the ball. She'll thread a pass over to Johnson in between a couple of defenders. And now Johnson trying to find Martin in the middle. Can't do it. Ball comes out to Liljegren. Liljegren then backs it up to Bauer. Bauer with a girl right on her heels. Brings the ball up, trying to fend her off. She splits it, and it comes out to Riley Harris. And Harris will have the ball go right off of the body of Corte, and that's across the inline. So Collinsville will have another corner kick, and again, it'll be Jalen Richardson. 1-0 in favor of Collinsville on a goal by Faith Liljegren at the 4:26 mark. Last time Jalen Richardson had a corner kick, Liljegren almost knocked it in off of her head, so we'll get another opportunity here. It's on the way. It's low and out the other side, off the post, and then in. Rebound off of the head of Faith Liljegren off the post. Came right down onto the feet of Courtney Martin, and Martin knocks it in for a 2-0 lead. For Courtney Martin, her 13th goal of the year, and Collinsville is out front 2-0, and we are just about 13 minutes in. So Collinsville has a quick 2-0 lead. Like to see that. Once again, Kahok's in the offensive zone. Here is Harris. Sends the ball across the way to Johnson, and now it'll be Hensler going to get it. Back to Destiny Johnson. Back up to Hensler. Hensler on the far sideline. Now sends the ball toward the middle off of the head of Martin onto the feet of Richardson, but it went the wrong way. Blocked out by Faith Liljegren. She puts a shot toward goal, but that one's well wide. And with 26 minutes and 10 seconds left to play, Collinsville has a 2-0 lead, and we'll have another goal kick restart being handled by Keely Corte. The defender. One of the defenders here for Highland. Collinsville didn't let that go very far, and now Highland will take over, but only for a brief moment as Liljegren gets the ball up to Riley Harris. Harris into the middle now for Tucker. Tucker puts a shot toward goal. That one rolls wide, but Zobrist is out to pick it up anyway. And now Zobrist will take care of this kick herself. Got a little bit of a breeze blowing here. It's nothing spectacular, but it gets a little stiff at times, and it's coming right toward the press box, so a little cross action on the win here at Kahok Stadium tonight as Collinsville enjoys a 2-0 lead. Looking for more. Here's Jalen Richardson from the right side. A shot that bounces right into the awaiting arms of Morgan Zobrist, the senior goalkeeper for Highland. Not a lot of play has taken place on the left side of the 50-yard line here at the football stadium. Collinsville has kept the ball in their offensive zone for most of the first 15 minutes of this game. And they continue to do so. Here is Destiny Johnson. Johnson trying to work herself around a couple of defenders, does so, lost the ball, and then it's picked up and shoved out of bounds over on the far side sideline by Jada Duncan. So Collinsville will have a throw-in restart. Once again, it'll be Courtney Martin who will handle that responsibility. Martin throws it in. The wind at her back helps that one from that side of the field. Comes down, and once again, Collinsville putting on some offensive pressure here from the outside. Shot, oh, what a save there by Zobrist on a blistering shot by Alyssa Tucker. And Tucker's shot would have went in the top shelf there, but Zobrist was on the money. Of course, it goes across the end line off of the hand of Zobrist, so another corner kick coming for Collinsville. Richardson will handle this one as well. This time, it'll be from the far side corner. And it's just a little bit of a pass in by Liljegren. Now she gets it back, and it's in. Off of the head of Courtney Martin. Martin scores her second goal in about 6 minutes. She's been there for a couple of nice rebounds. 3-0 in favor of Collinsville. So 4:26 the first goal, 12:51 the second goal, 16:11 the third goal. We have 3 goals before we are even halfway through this first half. We still have 23.5 minutes to play. 2 goals by Martin, 1 by Liljegren. Collinsville has a quick 3-0 lead. Highland having a real hard time getting out of their own defensive zone. Throw in by Martin toward the goal off the back of Richardson. Comes down, and then the ball sent out of bounds. This time it'll belong to Highland, and Madeline Walker will throw this ball in to get this restarted. 22:50 left to play here in this first half. 3-0 in favor of Collinsville. 3 goals in the first 20 minutes of this half. That ball popped right up into the air, and there is Corte trying to send it forward. Can't get it that far. Now here is another chance for Alyssa Tucker, but this time she sends it well over the net. Wholesale player changes getting ready to take place here for Collinsville. Marciak coming into the game, as well as Ortiz and Knutson. Siverly coming in as well. Baluli. And Michaela Chrisman. 6 players coming in, 6 players going out. Corte sends the ball back up, and Collinsville sends the ball right back. Here's a convergence there almost between Courtney Martin and Eva Marciak, but they both backed off before they ended up running into each other. Highland with the ball, Collinsville with the lead, 3-0. 21:40 left to play here in this first half. Here's a ball that's going to go wide, and Zobrist comes out and picks it up. And she'll send the ball out toward midfield again. Claire Rindelman could have knitted a sweater by now, standing down there, not doing anything. As all the play has stayed down at this end, Faith Liljegren hurt herself on that kick. Went down for a moment, but gets right back up. Whistle against Highland, so a free kick here from about 45 yards away, being taken by Hope Ortiz. Ortiz sends the ball. The wind blows it toward the middle. All you got to do is kick it toward the flagpole, and the wind will settle it back down and get it toward the middle for you. And here is Collinsville's offense hard at work, and not quite being able to get there to corral that ball was Marciak, so it goes out of bounds, and Highland will get the throw in here. Let's thank Mike's Automotive in Collinsville. Mike's Automotive is a T3 certified tire center. They handle all of the basic stuff like oil changes and tune-ups, the not-so-basic stuff as well, like complete engine rebuilds. That doesn't sound very basic. Mike's Automotive also has 24-hour towing, and they have 3 locations, Millstadt, St. Louis, and, of course, in Collinsville. The Collinsville location is at 1150 St. Louis Road, just blocks from the high school. Call 345-0611 or online, mikesautomotive.net, and Mike's Automotive on Facebook. Highland still stuck into their defensive zone as we have reached the halfway point of this first half. 20 minutes down, 20 minutes to go. Collinsville has a 3-0 lead. Highland trying to work the ball down and get their offense going. Corday with the kick off of Liljegren. Up for Collinsville, trying to find a seam over here for Chrisman on the near side sideline, but couldn't. Now Liljegren gets the ball right back. Sends it up, tries to send it up into the box. Blocked out. And now Highland comes away with it. Here is Pace. Morgan Pace has it go off of her. And now Liljegren turns the corner, brings it up, and trying to thread a pass up the sideline for Chrisman. That ball sent right back to Liljegren. Now Liljegren will look at the other side. Come back toward the middle for Ortiz. Ortiz, she'll find Destiny Johnson over on the far side, but Johnson only had her foot on it for a minute, but a nice couple of moves. Johnson almost stole that ball right back. Now it comes back out toward the middle. Courtney Martin gets a foot on it, then her head, and now it comes down for Liljegren. Liljegren will send the ball up into the box. Here is Courtney Martin, and she had a little bit of room to work with, but the ball bounced high on her, and it ended up going high off of her shin and then out of bounds, well past the goal. 18.5 minutes to play here in this first half. Collinsville leads 3-0. A goal by Faith Liljegren, 4 minutes and 26 seconds in. Then back-to-back goals by Martin, about 4 minutes apart. Collinsville has really not allowed much penetration into their defensive zone. Alexa Paddock comes into the game for Highland for the first time. Collinsville threatening once again right in front of the goal. Here is Faith Liljegren. Liljegren tries to thread it up for Martin, but Martin couldn't quite get there in time before that ball rolled across the end line. So another goal kick restart coming up here for Highland, and once again it'll be Keely Corday, the junior defenseman, that'll take this. Low, not very long, and DeLuca trying to settle it down, but there's Faith Liljegren with the steal. She gives a pass to Martin, gives it right back to Liljegren. Liljegren tries to cross it into the middle for Martin, but was a little bit behind Martin. Now a loose ball all the way over on the other side towards the corner. Destiny Johnson kicks it across the end line. So again, it'll be up to Zobrist or Corte to get us started here once again. "17 minutes to play here in this first half. 3-0 in favor of Collinsville. Again, it'll be Corday to send it out. She does. Knutson trying to get there to stop it. Now Knutson gets her feet on it and sends it up. Nice pass there for Beluli. Beluli in the middle. Zags, moves it up to Courtney Martin. Martin shoves it over to the near side for Chrisman. And now we have a whistle on the play against Collinsville, and Highland will get the ball back and see if they can get it into their offensive zone. They have not spent any time across midfield. Ball comes out to midfield. Hope Ortiz for Collinsville will send it on back to Munoz. Munoz sends it through the midfield circle. DeLuca for Painter. Painter trying to spring the offense, but instead Collinsville's defense is there to intercept the ball. Now right at midfield, it is Faith Liljegren. Liljegren surveys things, sends the ball up, trying to find Destiny Johnson. Johnson got there at the same time that Shiragi did. And now Collinsville guilty of a foul, and Callie Painter is a little hurt. She tries to stand up. And we're going to stop the clock as Amanda Bauer will come out and take a look at Miss Callie Painter. Let's go ahead and thank another sponsor. How about the folks at the Junior Service Club? Speaking of Amanda Bauer, she's a member of that club since 1934. The Junior Service Club of Collinsville has been providing women in the area an opportunity to make a difference with fundraisers and projects, all that go help the needy in Collinsville. You can check out their new website. It's collinsvillejsc.com. Again, that's collinsvillejsc.com. Or for more information on anything that the Junior Service Club has coming up, you can check out the Collinsville Junior Service Club's Facebook page. Callie Painter is coming off under her own power. Amanda Bauer talking to her the whole time. And while both teams are on the sideline taking a drink, we'll step aside for the same thing. Back in just a moment here on the Kahok Sports Network. .29 left to play here in this first half. And we are back underway after a brief injury timeout. And Highland trying to get into the offensive zone and get something going on. Collinsville's defense has been very stingy and has not allowed the Highland offense to set up much and get the ball downfield. In the meanwhile, Collinsville, they have had not a lot of problems doing that on their own, and they have netted 3 goals here in the first half, 1 by Faith Liljegren and 2 by senior Courtney Martin. Here is Highland, and it is Ashlyn DeLuca. DeLuca moves the ball up, but there is Collinsville to send it right back into their offensive zone. Courtney Martin back to Faith Liljegren. Liljegren had her pocket picked by Jacqueline Ferguson, but then Collinsville comes away with it for a brief moment. Now Katie Knutson in a little bit of a battle there with DeLuca, trying to get the ball back. Now Faith Liljegren gets the steal. Sends it up to Courtney Martin. Martin in the box will take a shot and off the post and right out front. Here is Knutson who puts it right back, and hers is just a little bit wide. Back-to-back great chances there by Collinsville, and they come away empty, do the Kahawks, as Riley Harris and Jalen Richardson return to the game. Faith Liljegren and Courtney Martin, the 2 goal scorers, will head to the bench for a little bit of a respite. Great opportunities by both Martin and Knutson. Here is Corte again getting this restarted off of the body of Riley Harris, and it settles down, and there is the Highland defense trying to take it over, but instead they turn the ball over. Now Collinsville with another opportunity here. Here is Harris back to Knutson. Knutson over to Destiny Johnson. Johnson turns the corner, sends it towards the goal, and it's in. Right over the head of Morgan Zober. She jumps up, but it goes right over her hand. And Collinsville now leads 4-0. .13:37 left to play here in this first half, and Collinsville has themselves a 4-0 lead. Destiny Johnson with her 6th goal. So Liljegren, Martin, and Johnson, all 3 of them have scored goals earlier this year. And they continue to add on to their totals. Courtney Martin now has 14. Faith Liljegren has 5. Destiny Johnson just scored her 6th Here is Knutson. Knutson trying to feed a pass up to Chrisman, but put a little bit too much oomph into it and sends it past Chrisman and out of bounds. Throw in will come from the near side sideline. Madeline Walker will take care of that responsibility. She gets it in, but right past one of her teammates, up to a Collinsville player. Here's Knutson. Knutson trying to thread a pass, but it goes wide, and it stays in front. Johnson with another opportunity, but this one pops right to Zobrist. And the Highland goalkeeper makes a save. And will send the ball back out. 12:20 left to play here in this first half. Off of the head of Destiny Johnson. Now off of the front side there of Marciak, and then back out toward midfield. And there is Chrisman with another steal for Collinsville. Back up, for Harris. Harris works the ball into Marciak. Marciak in front of the Highland bench. Nice pass to Chrisman. Chrisman gives it back to Marciak. Marciak trying to give it back to Chrisman, but instead that's picked off there by Walker. Walker sends the ball up to Alexa Paddock, but it's off of her and then right underneath her bench as Baluli will throw it in from right in front of the Highland bench. Richardson gets the ball back to the midfield, and now back to Richardson. She'll put a shot toward the goal, and it comes out the other side. Boy, if Riley Harris would have been one step closer, she probably could have stuck her leg out, and it would have banked in off of her leg, but she was just a step behind that ball. Here is Siverly. Siverly pops one back into the box right in front of Richardson. She shoots and she scores. Jalen Richardson makes it 5-0. Are they going to call offside? Yep, looks like they are. Wow. Well, Collinsville, we all thought they had a 5-0 lead for a split second, but maybe they can settle the ball down and get one back here anyway. Toward midfield, here is Knutson. Knutson gets taken down on the play. Taken down by Piper Meyer. So Hope Ortiz will take this from about 45 yards away. Ortiz sends the ball toward the goal, and it's going to bounce right in front. And trying to get a leg on it there was Alyssa Tucker to see if she can bank that one in off of an ankle, but it skipped the other direction instead. Once again, it'll be Keely Corday, the junior defender, who will send this ball back out. 10 minutes to go here in this first half. It's been all Collinsville thus far. 4-0 here in the first half, and Highland hasn't even gotten the ball into the offensive zone to let enough have a shot on goal. Here is Tucker. Tucker moves the ball up to Richardson, and another whistle will stop the action. Foul against Collinsville, and Highland will get the ball back. Alexa Edwards, freshman, will join fellow freshman Piper Meyer on the field for the first time. Off the JV squad, along with sophomore Alexa Paddock. Matter of fact, only 2 sophomores on the JV squad. All the rest of them were freshmen, and they're both Paddocks, Avery and Alexa. In front of the goal, and this one's going to go across the end line. Put there by Rachel Miller, so Collinsville will have another corner kick coming up. This one will take place on the far side, and once again it'll be Jalen Richardson. Comes with 8:50 left to play here in this first half. Richardson sends it right in front. In. No! Zobrist makes a save right at the goal line on a nice try by Alyssa Tucker. And Highland avoids more trouble. Zobrist sends it out to midfield off of the forehead of Katie Knutson all the way back up with inside 35 yards. That was a nice header right there by Knutson. Now she uses her feet this time. Settles the ball down, gives it to Tucker. Tucker cuts in the middle. Tries to send it over to the far side. Excuse me, cut off there by Highland. As that ball rolls again into the Highland bench. Chrisman doesn't waste any time throwing it in. Up the near side for Jalen Richardson. Richardson trying to get around Corte. She does so with a little bit of a shot out the other side, and then it comes in, and that one is going to count. That one's going to go for Riley Harris. Riley Harris gets her first goal of the year. .748 left to play here in the first. 5-0 in favor of Collinsville. This time the goal will count. And Riley Harris, as I mentioned, adds her first goal of the year to go along with her 3 assists. So Collinsville is off and running here with a 5-0 lead, almost 6, and Zobrist comes out and makes another save. And here's another opportunity. This one's going to sail a little high off of Eva Marciak's foot. Alexa Edwards checks into the game for Highland. A lot of the JV girls getting a chance here. They have Jaden Armstrong and Audrey Wilkie hurt, so that left them exactly 11 varsity players to play this game. So, of course, they're going to have to make some substitutions off of the JV squad to give some of these girls a little bit of a rest as that ball rolls in. I think a whistle would have stopped that one instead. So a lot of the junior varsity Lady Bulldogs getting some varsity experience here. Under their head coach Josh Oswald. Collinsville with a 5-0 lead, 6:20 left to play here in this first half. Here is Jalen Richardson. Richardson sends one toward the goal, comes out the other side. Chrisman could not quite get there to put a return shot on towards the goal, so it'll go across the end line, and once again, Zobrist will bring the ball out. This time, instead of Corte taking the kick, it'll be Jada Duncan. Duncan sends a low shot about 20 yards out. Now it's popped up into the air, and Rachel Miller comes in, and she'll send it right into the bench where Kelly Painter is sitting, and Painter got hurt a little earlier. She has her left shoe off, so it doesn't appear she's going to be coming back in anytime soon. Here is Beluli with the throw in for Collinsville. Jalen Richardson off of her head to Chrisman into the corner. Chrisman trying to settle it down and turns around, gives it back to Richardson. Richardson puts the ball toward goal, in off a body, no, won't go in. Loose ball, ping-ponged around, still won't go in. And now Collinsville's Marciak comes up with it for a brief moment. Now to Chrisman. Chrisman, she has a chance to send it through the crease, and Collinsville couldn't quite capitalize on that opportunity as Highland tries to bring it out for some offense. 5 minutes to play. That one's off of the referee. That was square off of the referee. Here is Harris. She couldn't quite corral the ball, and now Highland trying to bring the ball up, and they do so. Far side sideline, and giving it a chase down is Lexi Munoz. Munoz over on the far side. Sends it right past her teammate Siverly, and that's as deep as Highland has gotten so far, and really the Highland players just sent the ball that direction. Collinsville went back and retrieved it and bring it back up. And there's a nice steal over there and a little tag team by Richardson and Harris. Now Richardson will send the ball back out to midfield for Munoz. Munoz, the defender, sends it back out at the midfield circle for Ortiz. Ortiz sends the ball up the near side sideline here for Chrisman. Chrisman trying to find Marciak. Back over to Chrisman. Chrisman stops the ball before it crosses the sideline, and now it does, and that ball will belong to Highland. Just under 4 minutes to go here in this first half. Throw in. Coming in from the corner, and here is Jalen Richardson. Richardson puts a shot toward goal. It's high and wide and out of bounds. Let's thank Brad Keene at Visionary Wealth Advisors in O'Fallon. Brad Keene is a 1988 graduate of Collinsville High School. He is a wealth management advisor with Visionary with 22 years of experience. You can call him today for work on your investment portfolio, your retirement plan, estate planning, and more. Visionary Wealth Advisors with offices in Edwardsville, St. Louis, and O'Fallon. Call Brad Keene today, 726-3008, or online, visionarywealthadvisors.com. 3 minutes to go here in this first half. Collinsville with 5 unanswered goals. Liljegren, Martin has scored twice back-to-back within about 4 minutes of each other, and then Destiny Johnson and Riley Harris have added the last 2 goals. At midfield, Collinsville has not spent a lot of time there. Knutson has the ball knocked off of her foot. Munoz takes over, though, sends the ball up, and here is Harris. Riley Harris turns the corner, trying to bring it up the far sideline. She does so. Now she puts a pass onto the foot of Siverly. Siverly back to the middle for Richardson. Richardson couldn't quite corral that bouncing ball, and now Richardson and Harris will tag team to try and keep that offensive push going. They do so. That ball was meant for Alyssa Tucker, but it went off the wrong part of the foot for Richardson and went right to one of the Highland JV players. That is Jessica Borer. And now Knutson with it for Collinsville. Sends it back up to Harris. Harris on the sideline for Siverly. Siverly with 2 minutes left to go. Brings it up and tries to center it right past Harris, but it comes right back to Siverly. Siverly this time comes to the middle herself. Tries to bring it up for Knutson. And blocked out. And now Borer with it for Highland, but only for a mere moment as Baluli comes in and takes it off of her foot. We send it back out to the midfield circle for Munoz. Munoz over on the far side for Siverly. Siverly continues it up the far side for Riley Harris. Now Harris to Knutson. Back to Knutson. And Knutson will bring it up the sideline. Now for Harris. She has a little bit of room over there. She turns the corner, puts it in the middle of the box, and then it's kicked right back out by Highland. But it comes all the way back out to Siverly. Siverly over on the far side off of Knutson. Knutson will settle it down, and she'll pass it to Tucker. Tucker into the middle for Ortiz. Ortiz pinches in off the defense. Sends one toward the goal, but that one's going to go wide and across the inline. And we have 1 minute to go here in this first half. 5-0 in favor of Collinsville. Jada Duncan gets it restarted. On the far side, off of the body of Morgan Pace. Collinsville still with it. Here is Harris with another opportunity. She cuts across the middle, puts a shot on goal, and Zobrist had to use her hands to make that save, and then she kept a hold of the ball as to not provide a rebound opportunity for Collinsville. Now Zobrist sends it back up to midfield. Here is Knutson. Knutson trying to push Jacqueline Ferguson off the ball. She does so, and then Munoz will send the ball up, bouncing right to Zobrist, and right when Zobrist grabs it, the clock hits 0. Well, just about. Thought that was 0. It's 10 seconds left. That one goalpost is in the way, especially when it has a 1 on the other side. Can't see it. So now the clock hits 0, and we head to halftime with your Collinsville Kahawks leading the Highland Bulldogs 5-0. Back in a moment on the Kahawk Sports Network. Todd Duke, Zach Roseman with you from Kahok Stadium here on the campus of Collinsville High School. We are at halftime of this game between Collinsville and Highland, and it's all Collinsville in the first half, 5-0. Faith Liljegren got the scoring started just 4 minutes and 26 seconds into this contest with one off the head, and then Courtney Martin followed up. It took about 8 minutes later, but Courtney Martin scores a goal to make it 2-0 at the 12:51 mark. And then just about 4 minutes later, 16-11, Courtney Martin scores her second goal of the game and her 14th on the season to make it 3-0. Destiny Johnson then got in on the fun with her 6th goal of the year at the 26:43 mark. And with her first goal of the year, Riley Harris makes it 5-0. At the 33-12 mark, and Highland has been unable to answer. Matter of fact, they have not spent nary a minute inside of their own offensive zone. Claire Rindelman has had absolutely nothing to do in between the pipes down at the left side. We'll switch sides in just a minute. Both these teams head back onto the field, and we'll have second half action coming up for you next on the Kahok Sports Network. Back at Kahok Stadium, Todd Duke, Zach Roseman along with you. 5-0 in favor of Collinsville. We're just about ready for second half action to get underway here. Before that happens, we'll fill you in on the rest of this week's schedule. It's a busy week. The only day we have off is Friday. We have baseball for you tomorrow. Belleville West will be taking on your Kahawks over at Fletcher Field. That game is at 4:30. We'll be on the air at 4:15 with the pregame show. We have more track and field coming up for you Wednesday. It is the Girls Southwestern Conference Championships. That begins at 4 p.m. We'll be on the air right at 4 p.m. since we really can't be mobile with the camera and take you across the way to show you the pole vault or the high jump or the long jump or anything like that, but we'll do our best to keep you up on those things before the track events commence at 5 o'clock. More girls soccer action coming for you on Thursday. We are on the road. We are going to check out the new football/soccer stadium that they have put together at Althoff High School. That's another 6:30 game, so we'll be on the air at 6:15. And then our final track and field meet of the year is the Kahok Boys Invitational coming up this Saturday at 10 a.m. So we have a very full week of sports for you coming up this week on the Kahok Sports Network, and we'll have another pretty good week for you the next week as well before our playoff action begins during the third week of May. And we already know that your Lady Kahok soccer team, the very same one you're watching right here and right now, will be in the playoffs. That'll take place on May the 16th, 7 p.m. game. As your Kahawks are the 6th seed, they will take on the Lady Lancers of Belleville East, as the Lancers have picked up the 3rd seed. But before that, there is a 5 o'clock game between the 2 and the 7 seeds. The 2 seed Belleville West and the 7 seed the O'Fallon Panthers, the host O'Fallon Panthers, as the regional will take place at O'Fallon. So we'll hope to be on the air at 6:45 with the pregame show, but that all depends on how things go in that first game between Belleville West and O'Fallon. We will find that out coming up on May the 16th. This is the last day of April, so we are ready for the month of May. We are also ready for the start of the second half of this game. Collinsville will have the ball first, and we switch ends of the field. So Zobrist will be tending goal on our left, while that is not Claire Rindelman. Looks like they brought in Becca Burkhart to take over the second half, as Claire Rindelman really wasn't getting any action down her way. And with a 5-0 lead, why not? We're underway. Collinsville has the ball, and they have the lead. Here is Courtney Martin. Martin up the far sideline, turns the corner, puts a shot toward the goal, and it's off of a body, and that body of Jordan Shiragi, and across the end line. So Collinsville will have a corner kick coming up right off the get-go. Before that happens, let's thank Packmail. They are locally owned and operated by Ryan Combs. Packmail can ship anything, anywhere. They treat you like a neighbor because you are a neighbor. Packmail offers shipping material and containers, P.O. boxes, and now they offer climate-controlled self-storage. Packmail, 407 Beltline Road in Collinsville. Online, weshipstlouis.com. Call 346-4884. Here's the ball on the corner kick out front. Faith Lojegren trying to knock it down to pass it to a teammate. Finally does so to Courtney Martin in front, and she kicks the ball, and it just kind of rolls right into the hands of Morgan Zobrist. Score remains 5-0. Collinsville with 5 first-half goals, unanswered, obviously, as the ball has not really made it into the offensive side for Highland all that much. They did not have a shot on goal in that first half, so Claire Rindelman now is on the bench as Becca Burkhart, the backup goalkeeper, is in between the pipes here for Collinsville. Just underway in the second half. 38 minutes and 15 seconds left to go. Collinsville sends it back into the offensive zone once again. This time Zobrist picks up the ball without being right at the goal line. Sends it back out, but that's a nice job by Destiny Johnson off of her head to get the ball moving back forward. And now Richardson trying to chase the ball down in the corner. It's kicked out of bounds by Duncan. So Collinsville will have a throw-in restart, and it'll be Courtney Martin who will get that restart. Off of a head and out front. That's Alyssa Tucker trying to settle that ball down, trying to send it back to a teammate, but unable to do so. But Collinsville still trying to keep the offensive pressure alive. Here is Highland. They send the ball up into the offensive zone, but Lexi Munoz is going to be there to get to that ball first, and that ball does not spend that much time. Crossed midfield. Now with a little bit of steam, here is Hensler bringing it up the near sideline. She'll cross it to Courtney Martin. Martin sends it over to Faith Lojegren, Riley Harris. Harris with a shot off the crossbar. Then it stays out front. Collinsville with another opportunity, and the Kahawks continue to pour it on. Here is Jalen Richardson. Richardson sends the ball right across the other side. Harris settles it down. Riley has a goal, gives it to Faith Lojegren. Lojegren and Riley Harris, they both have the headbands on and the ponytail. That's why kind of looked like each other there for a minute. Now the ball bounces all the way on one bounce to Morgan Zobrist. And Zobrist will bring the ball out, send it back out toward midfield. The wind is blowing across the field. Matter of fact, it's blowing right into the press box, so no one will have the wind at their back while they're traveling north and south on the field, but you could either have the wind at your back or the wind against you when you do the throw-ins or the corner kicks. Here is Destiny Johnson back into midfield for Voss. Voss sends the ball up, trying to find Courtney Martin. Blocked out of there, though, by Shiragi for Highland. Ball ends up going out of bounds, and Collinsville will have another throw-in. This one coming from the far sideline, once again handled by Courtney Martin. Martin has the wind at her back, throws a nice deep one in there, and bounces off a couple of bodies, comes down low, and Highland gets the ball out of harm's way for the time being. Now, Harris comes up with the loose ball. On the far sideline, puts on a good move, gets rid of the ball, but right to one of the Highland players, so Munoz will collect it back on defense. She'll send it over to Hensler here, right in front of her own bench. Hensler back into the middle for Liljegren. Liljegren trying to fight off the advances there of Jacqueline Ferguson. Liljegren wins that battle and now tries to split the fielders. She does so, gets the ball right back, puts the ball up for Jalen Richardson, now up to Destiny Johnson, and Johnson's shot right into the breadbasket there of Morgan Zobrist. 35 minutes left to play here in this second half. Collinsville leading 5-0 on 5 first half goals. Here is Courtney Martin. Martin sends it over to Riley Harris. Harris streaking up the far sideline, sends one toward the middle. Courtney Martin was there, but partially blocked out by one of the defenders for Highland, and now the Bulldogs come away with the ball, and they send it up the sideline, but there to intercept is Collinsville's Voss. Up to Liljegren. Liljegren to Harris. Harris, far sideline, looking for a centering pass. Got one to Courtney Martin, off her head. Courtney Martin with the hat trick. .34-19 left to play here in this second, and Collinsville makes it 6-0 off of Courtney Martin's head. Off a nice play by Riley Harris over on the far side, and she centered that ball perfectly. So Courtney Martin with a hat trick here tonight. Started off with 12 goals on the year. Now she has 15. Here's Munoz. Moves it up to Destiny Johnson. Over onto this side for Hensler. Hensler with a head of steam puts one in the box off of Martin's shin. Back to Hensler. Hensler right at the end line. Couldn't keep it from going across. It does so. So Highland will get the ball back as they trail 6-0 with 33.5 minutes left to go here in this second half. Let's thank the City of Collinsville. You can check out the City of Collinsville's Facebook page for information on any upcoming events they have to offer. Right now, the only thing that they have that I can see is their schedule for their movies on Main. That begins on June the 9th. Despicable Me 3 will be the first movie of the summer series. The Lego Ninja movie on the 23rd of June, and they also have movies already scheduled for July and August as well. So for information on that or any other event the city is hosting, you can check out the City of Collinsville's Facebook page. And as always, the City of Collinsville is a proud supporter of the Collinsville Unit 10 School District, and they wish all the district athletes good luck this sports season. 6-0 in favor of the Kahawks. Very good game for Collinsville here. Needed to get a little bit of goal-scoring momentum going as they only have 4 games left after tonight before their playoff push takes place. 32-25 left to play here in the second half. Ball comes in right in front of the Highland bench. Destiny Johnson in a little bit of a battle there. So is Alyssa Tucker. Highland trying to penetrate the offensive zone and get a ball within 25 yards of the goal. They have not been able to do that at all here in this contest, as Collinsville has not only played some stellar offense, they have really played some killer defense and have not allowed much action at all in the goal that was occupied by Claire Rindelman in the first half, now occupied by sophomore Becca Burkhart. Collinsville leads 6-0. 5 first-half goals and a goal here in this second half by Courtney Martin to give her a hat trick, has given Collinsville their 6 unanswered goals. Here is Paige Bauer with the throw-in over on the far side. Richardson trying to corral it. She can't. Riley Harris over there and off of her leg and out of bounds, so Highland will have a throw-in. Or, yeah, they will. Here's Bauer again. Throws it into the corner for Richardson and knocked right back out of there by Highland. Now a loose ball picked up right past Faith Liljegren and on to the foot for a moment of Tucker. Highland sends the ball back out toward midfield, but Collinsville keeps it in the offensive zone just a little while longer. Here is Ashlyn DeLuca. DeLuca puts on a nice move to get around Liljegren, and now the deepest ball of the day for the offense for Highland comes down, and Collinsville's defense is up to the task. They pick it off. Paige Bauer gets it up to Riley Harris. Harris up the far side sideline. 30 minutes, 30 seconds left to play here in half number 2. Nice pass there all the way up to Marciak. Marciak gets it to Richardson. Richardson shot, and that one would have had a good chance of going in if it was a little bit more on goal, but it goes just a little bit wide because I tell you, Zobrist put the one hand up, and it looks like it would have gotten past that hand if it would have been just a little bit truer on goal, but as it stands, Jada Duncan will send this ball back out. Highland will get things restarted again, but they kick it right to the Kahawks, do the Bulldogs. Here's a shot by Richardson. This one's going to go wide around the other side this time. So another goal kick start coming up here for Highland will give us a chance to thank the Collinsville Education Association. The CEA is your partner as they work to ensure quality education for our children. The CEA advocates excellence and equity in public education. For more information, you can visit the Collinsville Education Association's Facebook page. This one comes out. Destiny Johnson trying to battle it out there with Ashlyn DeLuca. Went off of DeLuca. So Collinsville will get the ball back as Baluli comes back into the game. She'll take over that throw-in responsibility as she takes the place of Destiny Johnson. Into Richardson. Richardson sends it back. And then Highland sends the ball right to Collinsville head coach Clay Smith. Good catch, coach. Hensler will now throw the ball in right in front of her bench. Collinsville trying to keep the ball into the offensive zone off of a body, out of bounds, and Collinsville will throw the ball in, and Richardson will take it up here in this near side corner off of a body out front, and that's blocked out right before it had a chance to go on the goal there by Rachel Miller before it even got to Zobrist. And now Collinsville sends it back out to the midfielders once again, and it comes down for Alyssa Tucker, who will send it back to Munoz, who will send it into the middle of the field for Voss. Voss sends the ball up, over on the far side to Chrisman. Chrisman works it up into the corner, trying to find Marciak. That ball knocked out of bounds, and Collinsville will get to keep the ball again. And it'll be another throw-in from the far side as Mariah Siverly and Katie Knutson check back into the game here for the Kahawks. Out comes Munoz and Paige Bauer. Throw in over on the far side. Off of a body as motorcycle gang goes by on the other side, and there is Zobrist who snatches that ball out of midair right before Baluli could get there with any kind of a dangerous offensive attempt. Highland trying to get it down into the offensive zone, something they have not been able to do pretty much this whole game. Avery Paddock is now into the game for Highland. Here is Richardson. Sends the ball toward goal. Zobrist, that ball had a little bit of a bend on it. Zobrist had to come out like more of a volleyball player and use both of her hands to smack that one aside, and that is going to result in a corner kick here for Collinsville. with 26:45 left to play here in this second half. Collinsville leading 6-0. Jalen Richardson once again will take the corner kick. Standing near the near goal post for the Kahawks is Riley Harris. Harris has a goal tonight. Now she'll come out and she'll take the pass. Right back to Richardson it goes over on the far sideline. And now Richardson will send it up, and it's off of the head of Ashlyn DeLuca and across the end line once again. And we will do it all over again, Zach Roseman says. 26 minutes to go here in the second half. Collinsville 6-0 leaders at this point. Here is Richardson's corner kick. It's low and off of Knutson and then across the end line again. So this time it'll be a goal kick restart coming up here for Highland. Both of these teams play tomorrow. Highland will play Civic Memorial tomorrow in a home game, while Collinsville will travel to Troy to take on Triad. Let's thank my friend Peyton Blaylock. He is with RE/MAX Alliance. Peyton wants you to know that it's okay to buy and sell real estate. Mortgage rates still at all-time lows. No one knows the real estate market around here better than Peyton Blaylock with RE/MAX Alliance. You can call Peyton today. And there's a goal. Zobrist committed just a little bit too far. And coming in on the left side, Collinsville scores the goal. She would ever turn around so I can see her number. Is that 6 or 8? Baluli, okay. Sometimes, you know, these small numbers on the fronts of their jerseys, the 6 looks like an 8, so I'm trying to wait for her to turn around, and finally we do. So Baluli scores her first goal of the year, and that makes it 7-0 in favor of Collinsville. And we're going to cut the time in half. So instead of 25:08 left up on the clock, we will have 12 minutes and 34 seconds left on the clock as the mercy rule has set in. Lead by 7 goals. You cut off the time on the clock, and unless there is an injury, the clock will continue to run. So Baluli picks up her first goal of the year. Riley Harris picked up her first goal of the year. Other than that, Martin has scored 3. Liljegren has scored 1. Destiny Johnson has scored 1. The only one of the 4 that normally score. Jalen Richardson is the only one of those 4 that have not scored. 7-0 in favor of Collinsville. And there's another chance, and that one goes right across the front part of the goal, and then it ends up going out of bounds. And again, Zobrist will have a chance to another goal kick restart. Chocolate hazelnut snack bars from Friendly Farms. This one was taken care of by Rachel Miller, who kicks it right to the opposite number 6, Baluli, who just scored the game's 7th goal. Collinsville still in the offensive zone with a 7-goal lead. Collinsville still not ready to give up the offensive attack. There's a chance there by Hope Ortiz. If it would have went off the side of her foot instead of the front, that probably would have went on goal. Zobrist may have been in the right spot at the right time, but we'll never know now as that ball goes across the end line. And Collinsville will have another corner kick coming up. With Jalen Richardson on the bench, Hope Ortiz will take this one. 10.5 minutes to go after we get the mercy rule to come in. Here is the corner kick by Ortiz. It stays outside the box. Well, outside the purple end zone box anyway, not the soccer box. comes right to the front, but Collinsville settles it down, and they come right back with it. Here is Voss. Over on the far side for Ortiz. Ortiz now to Chrisman. Chrisman trying to find some help, and she'll send it back to the defense. And that ball is shot towards goal, and Zobrist comes out and snags it right before Marciak could get there. Collinsville still keeping it in the offensive zone. Here is Bululi, who just scored her first goal, and then the ball ends up out of bounds with less time. We have some more sponsors we need to thank. How about All Pro Tees? All Pro Tees is your place for custom apparel for your school, your business, your sports team, and more. All Pro Tees offers a variety of services and options. They'll walk you through that process step by step. They pride themselves in being a local Collinsville business, and they specialize in helping their clients promote and grow that business, all with custom apparel. All Pro Tees, right outside my door here in the press box across from Kahok Stadium. Online, allprotees.com. Call 344-2200. We had the Harley Riders go by earlier. Now we get a rice burner that goes by. Big difference in the way they sound, let me tell you what. Collinsville with the ball, I think 99% of the time in their offensive zone. And if the ball has gone into Highland's offensive zone, it did not stay down there very long. I don't think that Highland has had a shot on goal this whole entire game. It has been all Collinsville. 7 unanswered goals, and we now have 8 minutes and 35 seconds left to play here in this one. Here is Riley Harris. She sends the ball up, and Zobrist comes way out and makes the save right before Baluli could get there and try to get her second, not only of the year, but of the game. Collinsville sends it back into the defensive side of things. Here is Voss. Voss trying to get away from Morgan Pace here for Highland. Sends it up the far side to Chrisman. Chrisman trying to turn the corner. Puts a pass on towards Ortiz. Blocked out by the Highland defense. And now Chrisman trying to circle and get the ball back, and she does just that. Now she finds Ortiz into the middle, and a slow roller that Zobrist picks up off of the side of the foot of Alyssa Tucker. So it's 7:45 left to play. Highland sends it back out, trying to get some offense going here. A couple of nice moves put on by Marciak, who finds Ortiz. Ortiz with a couple of nice moves herself, tries to send a shot on goal, partially blocked by the defense. Another nice defensive block there by Highland, this time off of the body of Madeline Walker. And Collinsville still putting on the pressure, though. Here's a pass right into the middle for Riley Harris. Harris surveys things, moves over to her right. Now sends one toward the goal, and a Zobrist save as she blocks it out to her left. Will keep it a 7-0 game with 7 minutes left to play here in this second half, and Collinsville has another corner kick coming up. And once again, it'll be the sophomore Hope Ortiz that'll take this kick. Saw most of the baseball team here today. They're watching this girls' soccer game while they have a day off. There's a save by Zobrist with that left leg. That was almost a hockey goalie save over there, the way she kicked that left leg out of there to make that save. Collinsville sends the ball back to the defense. Knutson leaves it for Hensler. Now over on the far side for Siverly. Siverly to Ortiz. Ortiz sends it back up into the box once again. Highland trying to chase it down before Collinsville could get there, and they do so as Rachel Miller found that ball and kicked it out of bounds. Another throw-in coming here for Collinsville. In front, ball popped high and over the end line. Time to thank Cafe Agape in Collinsville. Cafe Agape serves up delicious sandwiches, burgers, steaks, pulled pork, and, of course, the Collinsville favorite, the steak and onion sandwich. Cafe Agape has weekly lunch and dinner specials. They have pork steak on Wednesdays, meatloaf on Thursdays, fish every Friday. Cafe Agape also offers catering service, and you can get Cafe Agape delivered now through the To-Go delivery app. Cafe Agape, they're open Monday through Friday from 11 to 7. They are located at 703 St. Louis Road in Collinsville, or you can call 345-CAFE, 345-2233. I thought for a moment that Baluli was going to come in all alone and put another shot on goal, but at the last second she decided to pass it. And Collinsville just keeps the ball down into their offensive zone again and again. And that's where it is right now. And now a bouncing ball. That's a little dangerous. Goes across the end line. And again, Collinsville will have a corner kick. This one is going to come from the near corner, though. .450 left to play here in this second half. Here is the Ortiz corner kick. It comes down in front off of a couple of bodies. Highland tries to get it out of there. Ortiz gets it right back, sends it across the field, but there is no one waiting on the other side. And now Highland will have another opportunity here for a restart as they bring in some of the extra players. Jenna Duff, a freshman, comes into the game for the first time. Piper Meyer, I've used her name before, so she comes back into the game. And Reese Shiragi, the freshman sister of Jordan Shiragi, comes into the game. Collinsville, though, with the ball and a 7-goal lead. 7-0 with 4 minutes to go here in this second half. Collinsville with another opportunity in front of the goal occupied by Zobrist. And they could not get the ball out. Shot toward the goal, but it was going to go wide anyway. Popped up into the air off of the foot of Jordan Shiragi. Another one popped up into the air, and that one off of the head of Hope Ortiz, but on top of the goal. One more sponsor to thank before we finish up for the day. How about Mike and Nancy Cluck? They are proud graduates of Collinsville High School, and now they are owners of their very own Allstate agency. It's called the Cluck Family Allstate Agency, and it's located in Glen Carbon, right on 159 as you enter the hustling, bustling town of Glen Carbon, right across the street from the IHOP there on 159. For a free quote, call 205-6060. You can also check out the Cluck Family Allstate Agency website or their Facebook page to connect with them today. Collinsville with a 7-goal lead, 7-0, as we have 3 minutes left to play here in this one. Whistle will stop the action as one of the Lady Bulldogs took a shot to the ankle. That was Jordan Shiragi. She gets up limping, but she stays in the game. Highland sends the ball back down. They just cannot get it past midfield and get any kind of offensive penetration at all. So the Bulldogs' offensive woes continue, and Collinsville, and their stingy defense already, has pretty much locked down the Bulldogs here today. 2:20 left to play here in this game. Collinsville up 7-0. Both teams in action tomorrow. Collinsville at Triad. Highland returns home for a battle with a very good Civic Memorial team. Our next action will come your way tomorrow from the baseball fields at Woodland Park, Fletcher Field. Belleville West provides the opposition. And we'll be on the air at 4:15 with the pregame show. First pitch scheduled to fly at 4:30. 1:45 left to play here in this one. Courtney Martin, the senior, has a hat trick in this one. Faith Lodgren picked up a goal, as well as Destiny Johnson, but that's not new news. They've scored before, but Riley Harris has scored her first goal, as has Josa Baluli. Collinsville will have a free kick from inside of the Highland offensive zone. And that ball kicked back down by Voss. Now toward the near side sideline. Bouncing ball in front of the Kahok bench. As that ball ends up going out of bounds. Under a minute to go, 50 seconds. And a beautiful evening here in Collinsville. Nice sunshiny skies today, high around 80. Sun has since set. Nice comfortable breeze blowing across the stadium here, and the Lady Kahawks are going to come away victorious against Highland. 30 seconds left. Collinsville will even out their record. 8 wins, 8 losses, and 3 ties. Highland will drop down to 6, 7, and 2. Final 10 seconds left to go in this one as Zobrist comes out and sends the ball back out toward midfield for the final time here this evening. As the clock hits 0, Collinsville wins this one by a final score of 7-0. As we transition our way into the Cullip Jennings Florist post-game show. Brought to you by Cullip Jennings Florist. They're a staple in the Collinsville area, has been for generations. Cullip Jennings Florist is located at 517 West Clay Street. Stop in for weekly specials, but right now they're all concentrating on Mother's Day. Tomorrow is the first day of May. Mother's Day is on the 13th of May, kids. So if you got that special mom in your life that you need to get flowers for, Cullip Jennings Florist can take care of you. 517 West Clay in Collinsville. Call 344-0404 or online, cullipjennings.com. Post-game show comes your way next on the Kahok Sports Network. We welcome you back into the Cullip Jennings Florist post-game show here on the Kahok Sports Network as Collinsville picks up a big win here tonight. Final score 7-0 over the Highland Lady Bulldogs. Faith Liljegren got the scoring first, got the scoring started first, way back in the first half at the 4:26 mark, off of a nice feed by Jalen Richardson, and then Faith Liljegren used her head to get it in there. Almost had another one too, off of a rebound. But that one hit the post, and then it came right down onto the foot of Courtney Martin, and then Martin knocked it in for a 2-0 lead at the 12:51 mark. Martin added another one just about 4 minutes later to make it 3-0. Destiny Johnson then 10 minutes later added her 6th goal of the year to make it a 4-0 lead, and we were not done yet as Riley Harris, that's her first goal of the year at the 33:12 mark, and it was quickly 5-0 in favor of Collinsville after one half of play. Courtney Martin then came back in, and just about 5 minutes after the second half got underway, Courtney Martin nets the hat trick, and pretty much after that she was done for the evening. And then a newcomer to the group of scorers for Collinsville, Josa Boluli, gets her first goal on the year to make it 7-0, and at that point the time was cut in half. We had about 25 minutes left to go in the first half, or excuse me, the second half, and then they cut that down to about 12 and a half minutes, and that's what happens when you have a mercy rule in effect. That was the end of the scoring, and Collinsville then held on and enjoyed the rest of the game as they kind of coasted to a 7-0 victory. We'll take another final timeout here on the Cullip Jennings Flores pregame show. When we come back, we'll see if Coach sends anybody up to the box to talk to us about this game. And if not, we'll just go ahead and end it, and then we'll call it an evening. So we'll find out all that in just a mere moment here on the Kahok Sports Network. Well, since everybody has kind of walked off the field and went back to the locker rooms, and now I see the coaches all heading the opposite direction, I'm guessing that we do not have anyone coming up to talk about this game, so we'll go ahead and end it right there. Thanks, though, to Coach Smith for taking some time to spend with us on the Chiropractic Works pregame show, and Zach Roseman for operating the camera up here tonight. That was very nice of him to do. Next, tomorrow afternoon, baseball for you from Fletcher Field at Woodland Park, 4:30 against Belleville West. We'll be on the air about 4:15 with the pregame show. Don't forget, we have track and field. It's the Girls Southwestern Conference Championship on Wednesday, beginning at 4 o'clock. More girls soccer action coming on the road from Altoff High School in Belleville this Thursday night at 6:30. And then we will end the week with the big long marathon day. The Collinsville Kahok Boys Invitational track and field meet gets underway at 10 o'clock. Saturday morning, and we'll be here all day to cover that one. So, for Coach Clay Smith and Zach Roseman, my name is Todd Duke. Everyone, have a fantastic evening.